Hola, hello, turubem, ¿cómo estás? Konnichiwa. What it do? Thank you for listening to another episode of the J Boy Sports Podcast. Today we're going to talk about the beard, the bearded one himself, the beard like no other, James Harden. James Harden. Now, James Harden is a very interesting guy. He's a funny guy to me. I don't really understand James Harden, and sometimes I'm hard on him. Sometimes he makes me laugh. I don't know. The man is talented, though. I think that I don't say this enough because I got friends that love this guy, and because of that, I try not to give him too much credit because they make me sick. Not really. I love my friends. But this guy, James Harden, is probably one of the most talented players we've ever seen. I can give him his flowers. The man's putting up 50-point, 60-point triple-doubles. I don't know if he ever got to 60-point, but he did. He definitely had a couple 50-point triple-doubles, man. And that's kind of insane. And the scoring run he was on at one time was also insane. And the other night, he just had 50 points. So we're going to talk about that a little bit in another video. But the man was balling. And I got to say, that 50-point game, he looked like the old James. He was explosive. And it actually looks like he may not have been that healthy recently. He's looking kind of fast again. And that could spell some trouble for the rest of the league. But we'll see. I'm not a hater of Harden. I actually liked Harden at one point. But again, I have to do a video on how much I hate super teams. And that's when I kind of turned on Harden. I thought he had a lot of talent. He was killing it on the Rockets. And then he just quit. He just gave up and started ring chasing. And I just didn't think he had to. What has that been, like 4 years or so since he's been on the Rockets? You had all this time, man. Just keep fighting. You were right there. And then you just quit. And I didn't like that. And it kind of soured me on James. But he's funny, man. He's like a Sour Patch Kid, right? Like one of them Sour Patch Kids. Sometimes they're sweet and sometimes they're sour. That's James Harden to me. But normally you associate James Harden with a lot of partying, a lot of nonsense. Who was that rapper he was hanging out with? Little Baby, I think it was at one point. I don't remember exactly who it was, but my man was out there partying before games and all this stuff. And he's not married, which y'all gonna say, oh, you being judgmental. But listen, when you get married, for those of you that are married or have been married, once you get married, it calms down all that nonsense. You ain't out there floating in the wind. And for men, I do think it focuses you more. Like you get more focused and more determined, more like serious about your stuff because you got to answer to somebody now. You can't just do what you want all the time, right? And because James can do whatever he wants, I feel like he literally takes advantage of that and just turns into a wild muskrat out there in the streets. But he said something that is absolutely facts, right? So this graphic here, it says, James Harden says the NBA has wrongly eliminated veteran leadership in the league. They don't know how to be professional. And I gotta say, man, if it was ever the right message from the wrong messenger, this had to be what the Lord was talking about when he said, in whatever scripture that was, I don't remember off the top of my head, don't worry about the messenger, all right? Listen to the message. Because if you just listen to the message and focus on the messenger, there's no way you take this ninja seriously. Because what is he talking about, man? This is the party god himself, right? This is one of the party gods himself. Google James Harden out and about, like just hanging out. Put in James Harden hanging out. And you'll see him all over the place in all kinds of outfits. Just having too much fun. But this man said, they don't know how to be professional. We need more veteran leadership. Now, he's 1,000% right. I think of people running out there acting crazy, doing all this extra stuff. Ant-Man's getting into scandals. Zion was in some nonsense. All these young bucks just doing whatever, whenever, losing their minds. Ja Morant, we know that's well documented. Where are the veterans to hold the locker room together and say, nah, we're not doing that. We going here. You going home tonight. You need to be in bed. We got a big game. Like, Those things are definitely needed. But it's just crazy that it's coming from the party god himself, James Harden. But you got to give credit, where it's due. And so I respect James Harden for saying this. It's wild that it had to be him, right? I don't. Out of all the players in the league, man, you got Steph is still around. Obviously, KD and Bron are still around. Who else is like in the middle? Maybe Kyrie is still out there. Russ Westbrook is still out there. There's a few OGs still left out here balling. But out of all of them, the one that stepped up and said, listen, guys, we got to get it together, was James Harden. Like, I just picture a cartoon with all the NBA veterans that are, like, still relevant and their word matters. And James Harden walks into the room and says, hey, guys, listen, there's not enough veteran leadership in this piece. So, that's a problem. These guys don't know how to be professional. And, oh, yeah, hold that thought. I got to run out to this club real quick and pop some bottles and then catch up with these street girls. But I'm going to be back, man. I'm going to be back. We need more veteran leadership, but I'll be right back. I'm going to go party with the chicks. That's literally all I could picture in my head with it coming from James Harden, man. This guy's got a lot of nerve, man. And sometimes we're going to have to do segments on got a lot of nerve because James Harden, officially, I'm going to stamp you with it. I'm going to officially stamp you with it. You got a lot of nerve. You got a lot of nerve. But he's right. And it pains me to say that, but he is right. So that's all there is to this video. Anthony Mackie had a clip that I really love that I'm about to play for you right now on the way out. But in fact, just roll the footage real quick. Roll the footage. Yep, say less. James Harden is definitely out of line, but he's right. And so for that, James Harden, you, sir, you got a lot of nerve. But thanks, man. Thanks for saying it. Somebody had to say it. I can't believe it was you, but thank you. Want to appreciate y'all for listening to the J-Boy Sports Podcast. Shout out to James Harden, man. He's had it rough. We've been, people have been on his behind, but he is one of the most talented players I've ever seen. Just his ability. He was definitely spamming and noob comboing in daggone fouls and driving to the basket and 4,000 dribbles in between his legs for a few years. But he is talented, man. We can't take that from him. So shout out to him. Thank you all for listening. I truly appreciate you. Please like, share, subscribe, share. Share with your homies, please. And I appreciate you. So, much love. I can tell that somehow you never get over leaving.